Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands, except I'm on the highway. I haven't done a highway driving video in a while, so please excuse the background noise and the occasional weirdness as I put on my sunglasses, take off my sunglasses, and go absolutely crazy passing semis in my super duper minivan. Because actually minivans are the best vehicle for all-around use for a lot of reasons. They get reasonably good gas mileage most of the time, but you can sleep in them, and that's pretty cool. They're way better than station wagons that way. Just more headroom. Although the old station wagons, like the Caprice, that thing has like 500 yards of interior space. You can play football on that thing. We just stopped at a QT truck stop, gas station, one of the new ones that they've been building, and I really kind of want to talk about that because this is a video not about enlightenment, but more about future options for how to kind of progress the world in a positive fashion with your food service. And please excuse the noise. This is a very loud section of road all of a sudden. Interstate 10 is usually way better than Interstate 40, but we seem to have run into the bad spot. Okay, that'll help a little bit, even though I have to go slower. So, Maverick is a gas station chain in the Southwest and Mountain West. It originated in Utah, and we've been using them for several years now. Man, I guess I've been using Maverick for a decade now. That's a long time. Several years. So, the only real competition they have in terms of the regional multi-state gas station chain is Terrible's. And Terrible's is quite frankly terrible. It started out as a casino chain in Nevada, and they branched out into gas stations, and they never really got the hang of gas stations. Their service uniformly sucks. They've never had a good restaurant model. They don't even have decent drink service. You can't even get ice reliably out of Terrible's. It's just not very well managed. Maverick has done a complete reinvention of the chain, the regional chain gas station / truck stop. It is more of a gas station, travel center, I guess is what you'd call it in the East, and less of a traditional truck stop model. Like the point to a Maverick isn't like a Love's or a Flying J where you have showers and lounges and laundries and stuff like a truck stop, but they are travel centers. They tend to have good, generous bathrooms. They don't mess around with keys or anything. It's just the bathroom's always there. The gas station, the pumps are always widely spaced and accessible, and they tend to have a very good food selection, including the in-house restaurant services part. That's something that's really key to remember right now, because that's really the topic of the video. A couple years ago, Maverick upped the game. Instead of just having in-house hot food that they, reheated or something, they put in real kitchens. So you now can go to a Maverick and order tacos. And I'm not going to say that they're super great tacos. The tortillas leave a lot to be desired if you know anything about the quality of tortillas. But the meat is real meat. You can get carnitas, you can get steak, tacos, you can get scrambled eggs. They don't make the biscuits, obviously, but you can do the egg biscuit thing or the little pizza thing. A lot of it is pre-made and preheated when it comes to the bread products, but a lot of the meat stuff is actually made there. It's actually cooked on site. And so if you order tacos, you get fresh tacos. And you order the tacos very specifically. They still have the racks of pre-made sandwiches, hot food, those new thing. What's the new thing that all the sugar addicts need to get fat is the French toast breakfast sandwiches. That's what it is. You still have the French toast and the waffle breakfast sandwiches. I don't know why you eat waffles with bacon and eggs in between, but whatever, that's what people do. That's all still there. But you can order fresh food, and that's really cool, except it's a little bit difficult at times because you're dealing with a set menu that doesn't have a lot of options and that doesn't have a truly, I guess, trained workforce. Some of the options that are there are almost like hidden menu options, and so if you don't know what you're doing, it gets very difficult. For example, being carnivore, I order protein bowls, which is basically the scrambled eggs and the bacon and stuff without the tortillas or biscuit or waffle part of the meal. And if you don't know that, even though it's on the menu, it's listed on the menu, if you're not really well versed in it, you're going to run into problems making it, just attitude problems, mental problems, programming problems. So I've gone into Mavericks and ordered protein bowls and had people pretty much yell at me that I didn't want tortillas because I was doing it wrong, because that's not the way the menu works, and there is actually a menu item of a protein bowl. So they're getting better and they're doing a really good job, but it's not perfect. Well, QT has now stepped it up an entire 5 levels. This new QT is a Neil Gibson novel. Like, it's one of those cyberpunk novels where you come out of your desert environment with your ATVs and everyone's like post-apocalyptic, and you suddenly are catapulted into high-tech heaven, right? And you walk in there and everything is clean and bright and neat and computerized, and you go to a touch screen and you order food on the touch screen, and there's no argument, no debate about what you want. The protein bowl is on there, and you go to the register and you pay, and everything's like tap and swipe and contactless payment. There's a contactless ATM there. There's a Bitcoin ATM next to it. It's all... And all of this, everything is stocked. The bathroom's cool, and there's a separate desk for the trucks. With it, it's just, it really is something out of a Neil Gibson novel where you've got this high-tech oasis in the wastelands, and it's really cool. And I know it's new, so it hasn't had time to run down, break down, have maintenance issues. And we're in a disposable society, so the moment it does have maintenance issues or gets 3 or 4 years old, they'll sell it off to Arco and build a new QT, right? But as it is right now, it just changed the game for travel centers or digital oases. And now I'm sitting here thinking, immediately, you've got all this computing power in this menu and ordering system. And it's modern computing power, so it actually, there was an item that they were out of, an add-on item, and it actually had the computer had updated and made that not available. And that got me to thinking that you could change entire menus on the fly with a system like this. It's not any more complicated to just change the menu on the fly, which is really cool if you're having supply issues, of course. But here's what's really, really awesome from our point of view, being off in weirdo enlightenment land, is that you can now completely model a franchise system. And I'll get into why a franchise system, off of local food availability, local processes. So you no longer have to do it as fast food. It can be as healthy as you want. It doesn't have to be, there's mandatory sugar, there's mandatory bread, there's mandatory potatoes, like most fast food. And that's one of the reasons it's so bad for you. You now have a system where you can take what the local produce is, what the local farmer's market has to deliver that day, and you can change your menu on the fly to match up with what you've got. And this is super awesome. Now, a franchise system, because what you want is to have it locally owned, locally operated, local produce, local stuff. But you want to have the ability to have that expanded creative menu. So people from different regions who have a different menu idea, it's all integrated together. And the franchise gives you a kind of brand recognition or tribalism. Like once upon a time, going to Starbucks was a really big deal, and it wasn't just a big deal as a customer, it was also a big deal as an employee, because you could literally be a nomad and float from Starbucks to Starbucks and pick up shifts because you were in this tribal system. And that was really awesome for a very long time. But also Starbucks was tribal. They were all locally run, so you have the local management, and they're kind of cult-like in their management. But it was super cool because you had that brand recognition and you belong to a tribe. This is before Starbucks got weird and corporate and ideological and whatever it was. So I'm thinking, 1995, 96, things changed. And once again, I apologize for the vibrations. I can actually see it. The road is just getting a little worse. Hopefully you can hear me. So here you have an option to expand with computing power and everything else, a franchise system, a tribal franchise system that really does local, real food with kind of an endless series of options, and you can even add logistics options for regionally accessible foods and plug in producers and suppliers into the system. And it just blew my mind. It blew my mind that we are actually at a point where a couple of the coders in Teapot could actually build this. So, sometimes the technological future looks pretty bright. Stay sideways.